And I used to take care of chimpanzees, and there was a young one named Casey, and he had a crush on me.
Casey?
And Tom kissed me, my husband kissed me in front of Casey, and Casey got Tom by the hair and held him up tight against the cage, and he was trying to figure out what he was going to do with him, and Tom had the hose in his hand, so he squirted Casey in the head, and that made Casey let go.
Who let go?
Casey.
Casey my brother?
Huh?
The chimpanzee?
And also there was one named Chuck, and he was on Dr. Dolittle. The chimp that was the baby chimp was on Dr. Dolittle, and me and Tom gave him all joints. And Chuck climbed up in his little wheel that had chains on it, and kicked his legs up, put him up on the chains, and smoked it. And Lola, she would get in her little corner of her cage and smoke it. And then Happy, she would get up in the wheel too, in the bed that we made for him. And then there was Casey, and they all smoked it, they all liked it, and all of them were mellow and went to sleep. They ate and then went to sleep, except Chuck. Chuck got kind of mean, and he'd take hold of his wheel that was on the chains, his bed, and he would slam it, and it would go ka-plonk, ka-plonk, when he was slamming it. And he'd do that a few times, and then finally climb back up in it and go to sleep.
You think he was mad about
No,
something else, probably.
Don't know. And both Tom and I, we played on, these were chimps that people gave up. And Tom played on the island with Lola. And Lola was so vicious that she had this humongous chain necklace. Nobody had the guts to take it off, even under sedation. And Tom played with her on the island.
Lola?
We had an island, that a piece of land with a moat around it. We called it the island. Because the chimps, they're like ants. They don't particularly care for water. And Tom went out there, and Lola ran up to him and hit him in the chest with all fours, both fists and 2 feet. And then she bowed down in front of him, and I yelled, "Scratch your back!" But he was frozen, wondering whether to jump in the moat or not, because he could get hurt.
Right, yeah.
And so,
easily.
Yeah. And so she got a stick, and she went and she hit at his ankles with the stick a little bit, and then she bowed down in front of him.
She knew she could hurt him worse. She was just saying like she's upset. She didn't really want to hurt him.
And she bowed down in front of him, and he finally decided to scratch her back, and the next thing you know, they're rolling and tumbling and playing and laughing.
You're right.
And the dog Harriet.
Make up sex.
The dog Harriet, she didn't want Tom playing with the chimp. So she went barking, and Lola put her arms around Tom and went like that. She tried to shoo the dog away. Yeah, protected Tom. It was so excellent. And everybody was all saying how mean she was and stuff. And then I played with Casey on the island. It was very cool. And he wanted to groom. And I'm like, no, I ain't going there, dude. I don't want to groom. That's where they even get, bugs.
Pick up the bugs and eat them.
So what I did is
dander even.
I slapped him as hard as I could right upside his head.
No shit.
And he got the biggest grin on his face.
He's gonna be like, yeah, you're real.
And wrestling
you're real.
And it was like, you pick up a solid piece of wood that has a knot in it and stuff, and how hard it is. That was Casey. He could have hurt me, but he was so gentle. He even swung me on the swing. And Tom was waiting for him to zoom me around the swing, the branch, you know. But Casey never did. He swung me a few times and then stopped me because he didn't want me to go too fast or fall out of the swing. It was really very cool. Yeah, it was so cool. And that was the closest I got to wrestling with a wild beast.
That's pretty much wrestling with a wild beast.
Yeah.